This episode is sponsored by True Choice Insurance. Here at True Choice, we take a different philosophy when it comes to providing you with your insurance options. We emphasize the value of the products we offer, instead of playing on the fear of you not being protected in your time of need. True Choice is affiliated with more than 60 insurance companies. This makes us one of the most independent agencies in the state of Texas. Please visit TrueChoiceInsurance.com for all your insurance needs.
Let's get it poppin', man, I'm simply ball dropping. Let's get it poppin', man, I'm simply ball dropping. You must love us cause you can't stop watching. You must love us cause you can't stop watching. Let's get it poppin', man, I'm simply ball dropping like it's New Year's Eve. Boy, it's James IV. That's Roman numeral 4 off the top with the intro. What up, K-Sap? No cap, that's the big bro. You know the ladies hold it down for the team. We be the hottest on this YouTube screens. We got sports, media, news, that round table talk. Them other parts ain't got the same sauce. Nah, hit us in the chat, but no haters allowed. Send you to the block party, what you gotta say now? We on live, hit us up and subscribe. If you like it to share, show love instead of staring. Man behind the mic, numbers don't lie. Send me a super chat to all that may apply. Ain't no party like an SPD party. Let's get the show started, pull up, everybody. Let's get it poppin', man, I'm simply ball dropping. Let's get it poppin', man, I'm simply ball dropping. You must love us cause you can't stop watching. You must love us cause you can't stop watching.
Yes. You know who it is. It's your favorite host, the man behind the mic of the Simply Ball Dropping podcast. K-Sap, what's up? Welcome in to Simply Sundays with Simply Ball Dropping. Appreciate everybody that's tuned in, man. When you come in the building, do me a favor. Drop a like on the video. You get a chance to watch it on the playback. Make sure you guys hype the video up. This is a new thing that we're going to do on Sundays, man. It's called Simply Sundays with Simply Ball Dropping. We're just going to give y'all some information. Y'all see the title of the show, man. You see the title of the show. Shedeur Sanders versus the Cleveland media. Now, we've talked a lot about this Cleveland media on how they're portraying Shedeur Sanders and what they want for the Cleveland Browns. And like I said, I was on G. Bush's show the other day, and we talked about every narrative they have against Shedeur Sanders. And basically, I call it like the Cleveland media's movement. Anybody but Shedeur. They want anybody but Shedeur. But Andrew Berry and Todd Monken, they see otherwise, man. They got a whole different agenda. So we're going to wait for, some people to come in the building. We got 46 people watching right now. Do me a favor, drop a like on the video. Go tell a friend to tell a friend that K-Sap is at it again. We live today on this Sunday, Simply Sundays with Simply Ball Dropping. So I appreciate everybody that's coming in. Make sure you drop a like on the video. But like I said, y'all see the title of the show, man. Y'all see it, man. Shedeur Sanders versus the Cleveland media. And when I say, the Cleveland media attacks on Shedeur Sanders, it didn't go well, right? And the reason why I say it didn't go well, because, all the narratives out there that they tried to paint. They tried to paint all these narratives, man, but it didn't bode well for him, man. It did not bode well for him because what has happened is the start of free agency. Y'all see what happened. So they made a trade for Titus Howard, right? And basically, a shout out to Ram Mega 2500 said watching from Lake Charles, Louisiana. Appreciate you tuned in. But you see what happened. All the stuff that they were saying about anybody but Shedeur, but Todd Monken and Andrew Berry are standing 10 toes down. They're going in a different direction. You see what happened before the free agency period started in the NFL. What did the Cleveland Browns do? They went out there and traded for an offensive lineman and Titus Howard. Now, I tell people, a lot of people should be happy. If you're a Cleveland Browns fan, you got something to look forward to. You should be happy what's going on right now. You should be happy. You should be happy that the Cleveland Browns have went and addressed some of their offensive line issues, right? And why I say that is because Titus Howard been in the NFL 7 to 8 years, I think going on 8 years. And in his 8-year career, he's only given up 7 sacks. So he's protecting the quarterback. And then also you got the other guys that have come in via the trade. It's upgrading the offensive line. And see, this is what the Cleveland media didn't want. The Cleveland media wanted everybody to go out there and get these quarterbacks, right? These are the quarterbacks that they basically wanted to come in, but none of them showed up. And that's why I said Andrew Berry is crazy. He's going in a different direction. He's everything that the Cleveland media complained about and wanted is not going the way they want, because these are the quarterbacks that they wanted to come in to replace Shedeur Sanders, and none of them have entered the building. Now, you still got a chance for Ty Simpson if they decide on drafting a quarterback and grooming this quarterback as a project. But this is all the quarterbacks that they wanted. But none of them walked in the door. Kyler Murray is a Minnesota Viking. Malik Willis signed a healthy deal to play elsewhere. They wanted Anthony Richardson. Anthony Richardson didn't walk in the building. Mac Jones hasn't walked in the building. And see, this is the narratives that they was pushing. But what did they do? They went in a different direction. They upgraded the offensive line. This is what they did. They upgraded the offensive line. So when I say that they upgraded the offensive line, this is what they're doing. And the Cleveland media does not like that. That's the crazy thing about it. So now you still got Shedeur Sanders as your quarterback one right now, because he hasn't lost that label because he ended the season as quarterback one. Now you got Deshaun Watson coming back off of injury, and you still got Dylan Gabriel. That's the 3 quarterbacks that you have in your quarterback room. And everything that the owners are doing, they're going and upgrading the offensive line. Also, they replaced their linebacker with Quincy Wilson. And Quincy Wilson is an animal. So they upgraded somebody to go alongside Carson Schlesinger. The Cleveland media was upset that Jim Schwartz didn't get the head coaching job and Todd Monken got the job. And it seems like Todd Monken is a Shedeur Sanders guy. And they don't like that. And they do not like that. So now you got a quarterback competition, which they say is going to be between Deshaun Watson and Shedeur Sanders. But guys, look at it this way. It's a catch-22 because they don't like Shedeur Sanders and they definitely don't like Deshaun Watson. And these are the 2 quarterbacks that you have in your quarterback room that's going to be competing against each other. Now, I want you guys to check this out. This is the crazy thing that I want you guys to check out. This is what they do, right? Look at this article. Browns poised for Deshaun Watson versus Shedeur Sanders unless they draft a quarterback. This is from a Browns insider. This was early this morning, published early this morning, right? So when I say, they publishing stuff like that, it says this is written by Mary Kay Cabot. This is what I'm saying. These are the media insiders that are just lost. They're shut out. They don't have no more sources, so they just making up stuff. So Mary Kay Cabot wrote, Cleveland, Ohio, with free agency mostly over and the draft just over a month away, the Browns are poised to forge ahead with competition between Deshaun Watson and Shedeur Sanders for the starting job unless they draft a quarterback. They really never pursued former Packers backup quarterback Malik Willis, knowing the team, like the Dolphins, were prepared to pay him $67.5 million over 3 seasons, including $22.5 million in signing bonuses. But ain't that one of the quarterbacks that Mary Kay advocated for? Ain't that one of the quarterbacks that Mary Kay advocated for? Didn't she advocate for Malik Willis? So it says the Browns like Willis coming out of Liberty, right? In 2022 and would have drafted him had they not made the blockbuster trade for Watson, but they weren't in position to place a $67.5 million bet on a player who started only 6 NFL games. He's only started 6 NFL games, guys. 6 NFL games, and all the insiders was hell-bent on bringing Malik Willis in the fray. Somebody that's only started 6 NFL games, right? Now listen. Shedeur Sanders started 7 in a 1-year span. How long Malik Willis been in the league? And he's only started 6 NFL games. And you thinking about bringing him in to replace Shedeur Sanders? That's what the Cleveland insiders wanted. You see what I'm saying? That's the crazy thing about it. And see, and that's when I tell people that, like, their sources are dried up. Like, they have nobody to really depend on to give them information. So what they do is they make up information on their own and write about it. And I was on G. Bush's show the other day, and we talked about the whole narrative ever since Shedeur Sanders has been in the building. And for people that are just joining me now, I basically called it the Cleveland media movement. Anybody but Shedeur. But that hasn't worked. And the reason why it hasn't worked is because all the quarterbacks that we've talked about haven't came in that room yet. And now they're looking for answers. They're scrambling. But what is Andrew Berry doing in free agency? He's going out there bolstering the offensive line. That's the crazy thing about it. And there's some other articles out there. And this is see, we've done shows talking about Shedeur Sanders is your quarterback one. What does Cleveland need to address? And I told people these are the things that Cleveland needs to address. And I think some of the guys that really want to see Cleveland do well in the Cleveland media, they've spoke on it. Because I want you guys to take a look at this. These are stuff that's going on now. Look, 92.3 The Fan. This is currently going on as I'm live, talking about they would double up receiver and offensive line in the draft, and they should. My preference is they go with Shedeur this year. This is what 92.3 The Fan is saying now. It's some guys on there that basically want to see Shedeur get a shot. So now they're saying they would double up receivers and get an offensive line in the draft, right? And now they're saying their preference is that they go with Shedeur this year. There's everything in the world to gain, right? And more changes coming to the Browns offense in April. See, this is stuff that they talk about. Then they say, I don't believe that it's Deshaun Watson. I'm not worried about it. If they go with Deshaun, I'm done. I'm absolutely done. This is what callers are calling in, and this is what some of the people are saying. So basically, there's so many narratives out there. But I've told you guys, that's not going to work. That narrative's not going to work because, see, now their sources is dried up. Because, like I told you, their movement was anybody but Shedeur. Anybody but Shedeur. And see, what's crazy about it is Shedeur Sanders now has put out all the fires because we've come out plenty of times to talk about some of the asinine stuff that's been said surrounding around Shedeur Sanders. And y'all know what that does, man? That really brings up to a point where I said this on G. Bush's show on Tuesday. I said, if you're in the Cleveland media and you're covering the Cleveland Browns and you report on the Cleveland Browns, don't you want to see the Cleveland Browns be successful? And with the quarterback that you have in Shedeur Sanders, don't he give you an opportunity to be successful? But it seems like nobody wants the Cleveland Browns to be successful because Shedeur Sanders is there. Everything is undermining what Shedeur Sanders brings to the table. So they're so hell-bent on scrutinizing Shedeur Sanders, talking about, oh, he didn't play well, he plays bad. You heard what Adam the Bull said. Oh, guys, there's no debating. He was horrible. You heard what Jason Lloyd said. You hear the likes of Anthony Lima. You've heard what Tony Grossi said to start the season out, but he's flipping, flopping. Mary Kay, she's caught up in the trick bag. She don't know what she wants to write. She don't know if she wants to be positive about, Shedeur Sanders, or she wants to be negative. She's trying to, play the field. And the crazy thing about it is, I told you guys with Mary Kay, it's like when Kevin Stefanski was there, this is basically where she was getting all her information from. Now she's limited. It's dried up. And now she has nothing to talk about. So now she writes these columns about Shedeur Sanders on all these quarterbacks that she wanted to see to replace Shedeur Sanders. Now she's on record to say Shedeur Sanders is your best option. Then she wants to say Shedeur is your best option. We can't let that fickle you into saying Mary Kay is for Shedeur. Because if you're a Cleveland media personnel and you really want to see them succeed, and the coach and your general manager is telling you that we're going with Shedeur Sanders, and you have all these opinions about, nah, we should go get this quarterback. We should get this quarterback. Shedeur Sanders shouldn't be on the roster. He should be a third string at best. That means you're not for the Cleveland Browns. And your media credentials should be stripped away. That's the bad thing about it. And me and G. Bush had a great conversation about some things that you should be happy because it's a new regime in Cleveland, right? The culture has changed. You got this new stadium that is being in process of being built. You got a culture mover in Shedeur Sanders that garnishes a lot of media attention. All eyes will be on everything that Cleveland does. But the Cleveland media shouldn't have to diminish one of their own because you don't like that particular person. I'd rather for you to come out and say, hey, I don't like Shedeur Sanders. And I'd be perfectly fine with that. But to come out with all these narratives about he's the worst thing since sliced bread, the advanced analytics prove to y'all that he's not an NFL quarterback, I don't need to hear that no more. And I asked G. Bush a question about Jason Lloyd. I said, has Jason Lloyd ever told you behind the scenes or personally what he feels about Shedeur Sanders through his lenses, not what he's telling not what he's telling people on air about this is what people are telling me around the building that are close knit with the players. Has he ever told you anything like that? And G. Bush basically told me, no. So that goes to show that Jason Lloyd really doesn't even watch. He's the one that don't know how to watch film. He's the one that needs to be helped watch film on how to break down what you see from a quarterback. He's the one that needs help, not Shedeur, because we already heard what Boog said. Boog already let him have it. So this is the stuff that I'm talking about. So then it got to a point where we said Shedeur Sanders is a needle mover. And when I say he's a needle mover, it's the fact that you got the stadium coming. You got all eyes on Cleveland. If you're not a Cleveland Brown fan and you support Shedeur, you're going to watch. A lot of people last year tuned into the Cleveland Browns games to see that moment that Shedeur Sanders would get on the football field. And if you didn't have the NFL Sunday ticket, you went out and purchased that Sunday ticket. You went out and purchased at least the games to be broadcast that Cleveland played. Because you know guys are sitting there watching to see everything that Cleveland is doing, basically, if Shedeur Sanders was getting on the field. And there's this other crazy notion out there about Kevin Stefanski. You heard what Jarvis Landry said. And then Emmanuel Acho, I don't want to bring him up because I just don't really understand Emmanuel Acho's position when it comes to talking about Shedeur Sanders. He's all over the place. He's all over the place. Let's get to some of these comments, man. Let's get to some of these comments. Okay. Nicole said, a lot of people that are for Shedeur have watched him since he was a little kid, and we know he was none of what they said. Exactly. Then she goes on to say, that's the only reason why I bought the NFL Sunday ticket. That's absolutely correct. Robert Rickens backer, 4035. All of us who support Shedeur know what we saw in 7 games, and I guess the Cleveland media didn't see him throw for 364 yards. I guess we're the crazy ones. Robert, this is what I will say. That is the stuff that we always talk about. Shedeur Sanders against the Tennessee Titans against the number 1 pick in Cam Ward, right? He went out there and threw for over 364 yards, 3 touchdowns and 1 rushing touchdown, but they want to sweep that under the rug. And they swept it under the rug because that didn't matter to them. That's the problem with the Cleveland media. They didn't give Shedeur Sanders no praise on what Shedeur Sanders did at all. They always wanted to point out the negative stuff and never gave him kudos for the great things he did out there on the football field. Everything was negative condensation. They never talked about the positive stuff. And when I'm talking about I'm talking about the likes of Anthony Lima, Jason Lloyd, Jay Crawford, Adam the Bull, Tony Grossi, and Mary Kay Cabot. They never talked about the good things that Shedeur Sanders showed out there on the football field. And in the conversation in the show I did with G. Bush from the barbershop, we talked about after every game the way G. Bush broke down the film. Even the way Chase Daniels broke down the film on everything that Shedeur Sanders saw as a quarterback and all the reads that he made. And that proved and debunked everything that Jason Lloyd said out of his mouth about the fact that Shedeur Sanders does not know how to read NFL defenses. He don't study playbooks. He needs to be shown how to study the playbook. And like I said, he debunked that as well. And also Boog. Boog Knight let Jason Lloyd have it because we saw in the well-off media video on Thanksgiving, Shedeur couldn't even finish his food without studying his playbook at the dinner table. And this is what I'm saying. That's why I said the Cleveland media is dried up. Their sources is gone. All the sources that they say they had, they out the building. Now let's get a correction here, because a lot of people, there was a video that was posted on Reel of me saying Joe Paterno, right? So everybody thought I was saying Joe Paterno, the late great Joe Paterno, right? Nah, that's just the way it sounded. Everybody knows talking about the big offensive lineman Joe Paterno, right? Not Joe Paterno. We know that, but it's the way the captions spelled it as Joe Paterno, right? So I just wanted to put that out there because I had to laugh at a lot of people that was trying to correct me. But that was one of the sources inside the building that a lot of people saying that Jason Lloyd and them was getting their information from is the big offensive lineman Joe P. I'm gonna start calling him Joe P, so there won't be no misunderstandings. So Joe P is giving out that information. But this is what I'm saying. Hey, we got 162 people in here watching, man. Do me a favor, man. Drop a like on the video, man. Hype the video up. Tell a friend to tell a friend. I know there's a lot of people watching in the pews. I know it's Sunday. Y'all might be watching in the back of the church pews, but this is Simply Sundays with Simply Ball Dropping. And I appreciate all my moderators that jumped in the building. Nicole has always been there. I got to give Nicole a shout out, man, because Nicole is faithful to what she does as a moderator. You know what I'm saying? Because she was actually on the show that I was doing with G. Bush. She came in and she graced the presence of the chat. Also, every time I go live, ever since she's become a moderator of the channel, she's been dedicated. She's been coming over here doing her thing. So we do appreciate you, Nicole. Keep doing what you're doing. I see a lot of people in the building. Desmond Johnson, just giving people some shout outs. Leon Watson, B-Dog01, Willie Mandingo Winchester, R. Jizzle, 9509, Asante, June Brown, K. Jima, 89, Ram Mega, 2500, Eric Reagan, 4310. You got, who is that? Fidama D16. So we see y'all in the building, man. I mean, don't be afraid to, drop a chat in the building to let me know where you're coming on from. So we see y'all in here. We see everybody in here. So don't be afraid to drop a chat in here. We'll shout you out. We see Amber came in the building. We see Brian Johnson. We see Terrell Davis. Yeah. So yeah, it's okay. That's right. Hey, tell them, Nicole. That's great information right there, Nicole, man. Tell them, go ahead and drop a chat that puts me in that algorithm. Yeah, I always got, I got to check out the chat, man. The chat makes my show go. You know what I'm saying? 304 Classics, KSAT, we here. WV in the house, man. Appreciate you tuning in. Yeah, so that's great information, man. Y'all go ahead and y'all post as many comments as you can, man, so we can get that algorithm going. Also, join the SBD family too if you can, man. Become a member. You know what I'm saying? Drop a super chat. Everything's appreciated around here. And you know what's crazy, guys? You know what's real crazy? The doors of the church is open. Today's Sunday. Brian Johnson said, I love the collaboration with G. Bush. Yeah, hey, look, that's what people don't understand, man. Me and G. Bush be locked in, man. Albany, Georgia in the house, Leon Watson. Man, I appreciate it. Man, I appreciate the love, man. Anthony Vance. Appreciate the love. Appreciate y'all coming through, man. But, man, like I said, man, the Cleveland media, man, they running out of options, man. And now, and like I told you guys, they don't like Deshaun Watson. Isaac, I see you. They don't like Deshaun Watson. And they don't like the Shedeur Sanders. But you know the narratives out there? You know what's out there? This is what I tell people. And this is from your girl Mary Kay. Mary Kay said the Browns are poised for Deshaun Watson and Shedeur Sanders unless they draft a quarterback. Now, why would Mary Kay even try to sneak that in there unless they draft a quarterback? So if they draft a quarterback, is that going to bump them over Shedeur or Deshaun Watson? So drafting a quarterback, do y'all think that whatever quarterback they draft, if they draft a quarterback, that quarterback is going to be QB2 or QB1? Put that in the chat. So if they draft a quarterback based on Mary Kay, they said the Browns are poised for Deshaun Watson and Shedeur Sanders unless we're going to preference that, unless they draft a quarterback. This is the stuff that I'm talking about, guys. This stuff right here. I'm talking about that stuff right there. She preferences unless they draft a quarterback, Browns Insider. And that's from Mary Kay. Yeah, so do you think if they do draft a quarterback, that quarterback's going to be QB1 or QB2? If they do draft a quarterback, it's going to be somebody that they're going to have to groom. It's going to be somebody that they have to groom. That's the stuff that I'm talking about, guys. Appreciate that. Appreciate all the love. Clark Virtual Museum LLC said, love your show. Keep rocking with G. Bush. Yes. Exactly. Leon Watson, if they draft one, it still would be a quarterback 3. That quarterback potentially, if they do draft one, will probably potentially be able to come in and knock Dylan Gabriel out the fray. New Cleveland said, that's nasty work. B. Watch dropped a video about Mary Kay and all her bad takes a day ago, and she do this. This is what we've been saying about Mary Kay. Mary Kay is all over the place, man. She's in the trick bag. She's all over the place. She's been all over the place for a long time. And see, Mary Kay had a lot of my people in the chat confused and tricked. But I told you guys, Mary Kay's in the trip bag. That's why I say she's the great flipper. I did a show about Mary Kay probably about 2 or 3 months back talking about she's the great flipper. That is right, Nicole. New Cleveland needs a new media. Me and G. Bush talked about that. That's why a lot of people always tune in to G. Bush, myself, Snacks, FB Tings, Money Main, to get the real on what Cleveland is going through. Because it's a lot of narratives that we got to put out there. And I just want to address some things about some of the comments and some of the videos I see talking about we giving the Cleveland insiders too much attention. No, we're not. We doing what we need to do, because y'all listen to the Cleveland insiders. And if they feed you with enough of this BS, you're going to start to believe it. But it's channels like G. Bush on the Barbershop, myself, Simply Ball Dropping, KSAP, FB Tings, Big Snacks, Money Main. When we talk about this stuff and we try to debunk all these narratives and bring it to your attention on all the bullshit that the Cleveland media says, we trying to put the fire out, because if don't nobody talk about it, people gonna believe it. If you throw enough mud on the wall, some of that stuff gonna stick. And this is what happens. This stuff gonna stick. What's up, ADP? This stuff gonna stick. So it's our job as YouTube content creators in this media space, the new media, like Draymond Green said long time ago. What's up, Cap 9530? Appreciate you guys tuning in, man. If you're not a member of the channel, man, become a member. The doors of the church is open. All you got to do is hit the join button. You want to donate to the channel, you can send a super chat. We do appreciate it. Anything that you send is highly appreciated. But we do appreciate everybody that's coming in. Well, I understand that you say Cleveland is not used to this much attention, but they hear us. These Cleveland media insiders, they hear us. They hear us. They know what's going on. They know what's going on. They hear us. That's the bottom line. They hear us, man. But it's stuff like that that always has to be, the fire has to be put out, y'all. Because if you listen to the Cleveland media enough and you don't listen to nobody else, you're going to start to believe that stuff. And then you're going to second guess your thought process because ain't nobody out there saying, well, why come y'all guys ain't out there talking about what they said? See, this is the catch-22. The problem I have is if we don't talk about it, and then when we do shows, I see a lot of comments, people, well, y'all not talking about what so-and-so said. Y'all not talking about, the elephant in the room. Oh, we talk about it all the time. So it's a catch-22, man. Lady Ray 50, I appreciate the comment. UG Bush, Big Snacks, and others are the new media that we watch. That is correct. Because if you listen, this is, hold up. This is so, some of this stuff is so crazy to me, man. Cap 9530 said, what happened over the time is losing record has caused the toxic media to think they are the prize and if they spent billions to buy the team. The crazy thing about it is they the ones that are giving you their opinion because the new media is giving you facts. The Cleveland media is giving you a bunch of bull and a bunch of opinionated facts that they want everybody but Shedeur. They don't care about winning. Their job is to sit up there and talk about Shedeur Sanders and put every negative condensation around Shedeur that they can. And y'all know that's a fact. Because they don't give Shedeur Sanders no credit for any good thing that he does. I heard Bull, Adam the Bull on UCSS, sit there and tell me out of Cam Ward, Tyler Shuck, Jackson Dart, Shedeur Sanders, and all these other quarterbacks, that Shedeur Sanders was the worst among the ones that they mentioned. He couldn't even believe that himself. So G. Bush had to basically, G. Bush had to basically eviscerate him. And that's the problem that I have. Because Bull don't know ball. Like Adam the Bull and Jason Lloyd don't have no talking points, guys. He don't have no talking points. And that's what pisses me off. And it's always a pleasure to hear G. Bush going on there to eviscerate these guys for the dumb stuff that they say. Now, listen. Look, this is what I'm gonna do. I want y'all to listen to this bullshit. What's up, Big Snacks? Look, hey, Big Snacks, man. Hey, Big Snacks, check your what is it? Not Snapchat. Yeah, Snapchat. Nah. Check your hold on, Big Snacks. Hold up, Big Snacks. Hold on, Big Snacks. I got something for you, Snacks. Check your TikTok, man. I sent you a message, man. We got to link up, man. We got to do a show together, man. Hit your check your TikTok for me. But listen, we're gonna listen to what Adam the Bull said.
Probably no better option because I think Deshaun Watson is shot. So okay, that's a fact. Mm-hmm. I guess that's not a fact. That's an opinion.
Well, yeah, we'll see.
But here's some other facts. He was drafted in the 5th round.
Shedeur?
Yes.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
He played, I guess this is not a fact, I guess, even though to me it is. He didn't play well last year. Now, we can make all the excuses, and they're fair. No, about the talent around him. He objectively did not play good football. There's no debate.
I think when you say objectively, when you say you objectively didn't play good football, there are individuals
Hold up, guys. Did y'all hear what Adam the Bull said? He said it's no debating. He said it's no debating. He said it's no debating that Shedeur Sanders was garbage. He said there's no debating. Do y'all understand how crazy that sounds? He said there's no debating. He said there's no debating.
There are individual throws where you can see.
You say that about any quarterback.
Well, I'm just saying, there's individual throws where you can see the processing, you can see the touch, you can see the timing, you can see the accuracy.
Keep it real. He did not play well. Doesn't mean.
Did y'all hear what Bush? Y'all hear what Bush just said, and then you hear what Bull said. Bull said he told G. Bush to keep it real. Did he just tell G. Bush to keep it real? He told G. Bush to keep it real, man. Man, we got 203 people in the building watching, man. Drop a like on the video. Now we got 208, man. He told G. Bush to keep it real, guys.
He's not going to play well. We understand the circumstances.
That is
we're
never
going to be hard for anybody to
Hold on. Here's the thing.
If you're going to argue he played well, then there's nobody's ever played poorly in the history of football.
See, this is the problem I have with Adam the Bull. He will never let G. Bush talk. Do y'all remember when Tyvus went on his whole diatribe? He didn't interrupt Tyvus at one time. He sat there and watched him defend his boy, Jason Lloyd, and he did not interrupt him at one time. But all of a sudden, G. Bush gets in his bag, starts cooking. He wants to interrupt him every chance he gets and won't let him get out nothing so the people can hear and listen and digest everything that G. Bush is saying. Adam the Bull wants to constantly interrupt him.
Yeah. I've watched every single film. I've watched every single game 4 times.
Right.
I break down the film after the game. We go over the film and we talk about what you did good and what you did bad.
Yeah.
So when people say you objectively played bad, it's a black and white situation. What I'm saying is when you're looking at a rookie quarterback, you got to break down the good plays or the bad plays. That's how football works. It isn't just blanket you play good or you play bad. You watch every play.
You've never made that argument for any other player in the history of football.
Man, this is the craziest thing that we have to sit here and endure about Adam the Bull. He constantly interrupts somebody when he's making a good point.
We've never talked about the nuance of playing. Obviously, there's nuance in every conversation.
I make that nuance about every player.
Are you saying he played good last year?
There are sometimes he's played well, and there's sometimes he had things to improve on.
So then no quarterback's ever played poorly in the history of football?
Yes. But here's the thing. When you're talking about it, you have to point out the good as well as the bad in the context of the situation. Here's the thing. I think we've got to the point where in sports talk, we either say it's black or white, good or bad.
I'm all about nuance, G. Bush. But the bottom line is, if we're giving an overall grade, you got to say A or B. You got to say good or bad.
No, you don't have to say
There's
overall.
always nuance. Why? That's what I'm saying.
What I'm saying is overall, if you want to ask whether or not, because we still get caught up on this, I'm watching the plays.
Okay.
Right? I'm seeing the plays. I see what you did right there.
Yeah.
Other people see what you did. So there are people that are going to say that there is a reason. Let me ask you a question. If Todd Monken, if Todd Monken and the Cleveland Browns had an opportunity, and Andrew Bear had an opportunity to upgrade that position, why did they not do it? And why are they saying that he has these elite things? Now, elite means over the top, good, dynamic, awesome. Right. If they say he has that elite, why
they didn't replace him could be a variety of reasons.
Because they like him.
That could be one of the reasons.
Now Bull says the reason why they didn't replace him when G. Bush said because they like him. And then Bull said that could be true. Like G. Bush, now he has Bull in the trick bag. Now he has Bull in the trick bag because Bull is starting to sound real crazy, guys.
They could also be like, well, we're not going to spend money on a guy who we're not sure is better. It's not like who have the good options been to replace him with?
Mac Jones.
Number two, what they say means nothing. You take it all with a grain of salt. You know that.
Here's the thing. Here's the thing. What I'm saying is, what they saying and what they doing.
Well, you're judging what they're doing based on 1 week of the offseason.
Oh, no. I base it on 3 weeks. 3 weeks in
It's been a week and a week. It's been a week. Free agency started last week.
Hey, I'm just looking at.
It's been 1 week.
Nobody showed up. Tyler, Malik, Anthony, all of them.
I got to stop right there. Because of the fact that how many times have I told y'all on all these videos that I've dropped about these quarterbacks that they talked about anybody but Shedeur, and they wanted everybody to come in the building, right? So basically, look, G. Bush hit it a home run because what have I said? All these quarterbacks that they've mentioned, ain't none of them come through the door. And this is what I'm talking about. And G. Bush just hit Adam the Bull with a low blow. That's what I'm talking about, guys. This is exactly what all the quarterbacks that they mentioned, none of them came through the door. Let's go and continue and let G. Bush fry.
Didn't show up. They're not here.
He said they're not here. That's right, Snacks. Bush be on the head, man. Not one of them. Hey, Nicole, not one of them showed up. Man. This is, look, I can't make this stuff up, chat. I can't make this stuff up, man. This is what they try to do every time, man. And we can't make it up, man. All the quarterbacks that they talked about, none of them walked through the door. And Bull didn't have no comeback for that. So like I said, man, the Cleveland media is out there just talking. And when G. Bush talk about some of the sources, their sources are dried up. A lot of people said once Kevin Stefanski was fired, their source was gone. The mole in the room was gone. Big lineman Joel Paternio. That's their inside source from Jason Lloyd. A lot of people said he's on the inside talking about things. We've already heard what he said about Shedeur Sanders when he started. And now the media, they lost. They don't know what to talk about, man. The media is in shambles, man. Yeah, G. Bush does hold his composure. But at the same time, he be exposing them cats. Man. Leon Watson said they have a wish list next Christmas. And see that's well, y'all is wild in the chat. Y'all wilding today. But that's what I'm saying. They have so many things that they talk about that don't make sense. And G. Bush called it out. And I've said it so many times. All the quarterbacks that they preference, has any of them walked in the door, chat? Has any of them come to the Cleveland media's? Has any of them come to the Cleveland media's defense and saying that we bringing these quarterbacks in and none of them come in? That's the crazy part. And look, and this is another thing that pissed them off, is when Jason Lloyd said them things about Shedeur Sanders about not being able to read these defenses and stuff. Now, this is what hurt him. See, when sources close to Shedeur Sanders come out and put this stuff to bed, this is another thing that hurt him. Let's listen to what Bug Knight said. Let's take a listen to what Bug said.
That's this Jason Lloyd stuff with talking about Shedeur don't watch film. He don't know when he's hot. He can't read coverages, all this blah, 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 blah. And again, I'm not saying he didn't hear that. He may have heard that. But I'm going to tell you that it's not the truth. Regardless. And also I'm going to say that we got to have more common sense to understand when things are being said that aren't true. Regardless of whoever's trying to paint what narrative or whatever the reason they're doing it, I don't know, but clearly it's ill will behind it because it's not true. I be with Shedeur often, and he's always studying film. He can't even finish his food at night sometimes because he's watching and studying film. And sometimes we up at 11, 12 at night watching film, but I don't put those. I record a lot of stuff, but I don't record it because we're in the comfort of his own home. And that's what you don't want cameras in his face when we just having family time and just vibing and talking about the game and what game plans and life or whatever. But he's always got his film in front of him and understanding what he's looking at and what he's reading. But to say that he don't understand how to read defenses and all that crazy, man, that's pure foolery. So regardless of whoever put that narrative out there, that's when I say people have common sense is no longer common. When I say that to say this, you talking about a kid who threw for over 4,000 yards, a kid who has had a different offensive coordinator every year in college. So you mean to tell me he can't read defenses or understand what the defense trying to do to him, and he can go out there and throw for 4,000 yards? Well, I guess so. If he could read defense and watch film, then he would throw for 8,000. If that's the case, man, y'all crazy. I don't know what if you think this man can't read the defense, understand what the defense is trying to do to him, and he's out there gaming like that. And then somebody said, "Well, that was in college." Okay, go to the pro game. I honestly know that, and somebody on the internet, I know y'all good on this internet. You can find where he got on that podium and he told the reporters exactly what the defense was trying to do to him, what he seen, what he read, and how he was able to adapt and adjust and make the play that he needed to make. Stewart's never had a problem with reading defenses, bro. Matter of fact, sometimes he's so great at it that there's been times where some plays have been called, and he seen what was going on, and he made an adjustment that led to 6 because he understands what's going on. You just don't magically get out there and just throw for 4,000 yards, bro, and 37 touchdowns, not understanding what the defense is trying to do to you and having a different offensive coordinator every year. You got to learn something different every year. Now, I will say this. Coming in, did he have certain rookie challenges like most rookies have? Especially rookie quarterbacks where the terminology is different from what he has been used to giving? Yeah, that's expected. The terminology is different, you know what I'm saying, from college to NFL. Gun just slang, 44 dove right, left team, gun slide, fire, something, and I'm long term. Yes, that's expected. So yeah, but to say that the man don't watch film or don't know how to study film or don't know how to read defenses, don't know when he's hot, man, you crazy hell. So I guess if he learned how to learn when he's hot, he would have thrown for 8,000 yards then, because he shot threw for over 4,000, not knowing when he's hot.
Hey, that was a classic ending. He would have thrown for 8,000 yards if he knew how to read NFL defenses. Well, Bug ate him up, man. See, that's what I'm saying. When you get eviscerated like that, you should no longer want to sit on the couch beside G. Bush and get fried, because you ain't only getting fried in one skillet. Now you getting put in the hot wok by somebody on the outside. That's the bad thing about it. You getting put on the hot wok by somebody on the outside. But I'm going to tell you what the Cleveland media's problem is, right? They were so, and listen, this is diabolical, guys. They were so hell-bent last year on saying, oh, they need to get rid of Jimmy Haslam. He needs to be replaced. Oh, they need to fire Andrew Berry. But what happened? They fired Kevin Stefanski, and Andrew Berry still has his job. And this is what's pissing the Cleveland media off. That's the problem. They fired Kevin Stefanski, and guess who still has a job and is calling the shots? Andrew Berry. They wanted Andrew Berry gone, but Kevin Stefanski got X'd out. They put Jigga on top. And now Andrew Berry is still calling shots. And Andrew Berry is not doing nothing that the Cleveland media wants from their opinions. Andrew Berry is going out there getting offensive linemen. Like we said. That is crazy. They wanted Andrew Berry gone. But guess what? Andrew Berry is still in the building. Kevin Stefanski's out there in Atlanta. And then the crazy thing about it is Jarvis Landry came to the forefront and talked bad about Kevin Stefanski. And that's the problem, guys. They wanted Andrew Berry gone. But Andrew Berry is still in the building. Kevin Stefanski gone. So that's telling me that when Kevin Stefanski was gone, their source went too. So you can't tell guys, Chad, let's be honest. Everybody around this Cleveland organization that's inside, who is the source that's giving these people this crazy information like quote unquote Jason Lloyd said? I've talked to plenty of people around the building. Guys, I don't know if y'all saw the Ken Carman show early in the morning when Jason Lloyd was on there in place of Anthony Lima. And a caller called in, was letting Jason Lloyd have it. And the caller was saying all this stuff. And Ken Carman was just sitting back and he said, well, Jason, are you going to answer the guy? Jason Lloyd said, no, what I got to answer him for? And Jason Lloyd's response was, I got 25 years in this. That was your final answer? I got 25 years in this and you couldn't address what the caller was asking you because he put you on the spot? Exactly, Snacks. They lost in the sauce, man. They don't have no clue. They have no clue. They don't have access. I produced a show probably about 3 weeks back. I said their access was denied. And that's what's pissing them off. So they make up all this stuff. Their access is shut out. When Snacks, check this. Snacks, I was watching your show the other day. It's kind of crazy because I think we think alike around some lines alike. You know what I'm saying? On some of the things that we say. Because I've mentioned plenty of times that they're clueless. Their access has been denied. And I think you agree with me. Their access has been denied. It's been limited. So they just want to make up stuff. Because they're so pissed off that a quarterback from the HBCU realms of Jackson State, the first HBC Pro Bowler since Aaron McNair, then he goes on to Colorado and throws for over 4,000 yards. He makes the Pro Bowl in his rookie year, despite all the narratives that was going on out there of Shedeur Sanders. And then it's a notion that Adam the Bull says, if I'm Shedeur Sanders, I wouldn't accept the call from the NFL to be a Pro Bowler. Exactly. They don't want, look, Snacks. I talked about that, Snacks. Look, Snacks. The crazy thing about it is, look, this is the articles Mary Kay putting out there. Browns poised for Deshaun Watson versus Shedeur Sanders unless they draft a quarterback. Browns Insider. That's from Mary Kay. Look, Mary Kay Cabot wrote that article. Mary Kay is the one that produced that article. She wrote that article. And the fact that they don't like Deshaun Watson and they can't stand Shedeur Sanders. But then you see how Mary Kay preferenced that. Unless they draft a quarterback. So if they do draft a quarterback, it goes to my point I said earlier. That quarterback ain't going to be QB1 or QB2. That's going to be the quarterback that's going to replace Dylan Gabriel. Because Dylan Gabriel is lost in the sauce right now. Dylan Gabriel is lost in the sauce right now, guys. Y'all know Dylan Gabriel is lost in the sauce, man? It's like his tenure has dried up that quick. Y'all wasted a 3rd-round pick on Dylan Gabriel. Yeah, look. That's the crazy thing about it is he is all over the Cleveland Browns social media. He's all over their social media because they know what time it is. They posted Shedeur as a young kid. And look, I will say, and I will show you what the Cleveland media is out there doing. Now that, everything got wind, look at all this stuff. They posting, it was a long road to the NFL stage for Shedeur. That was posted 3 hours ago. That was posted 3 hours ago. It's everything about Shedeur now. Because the Cleveland Browns know, they hear us out here. They hear the birds chirping. They hear that their own media insiders are full of shit. They know that the people that keep it real, such as me, myself, G. Bush, Big Snacks, Money Main, and FB Tings. And this was just posted 3 hours ago. Y'all see what they doing? They taking it all the way back to Jackson State. They promoting Shedeur now because they know what is going on. They know what's going on. They know what's going on. You see that? And then you got to understand something. That particular thing has drawn over 500,000 views on it. They posted him jumping in the pool after he was drafted. Everything. That's the stuff that I'm talking about. That's the stuff that I'm talking about, guys. Look at all this stuff that the Cleveland media. This is the Cleveland Browns official X page. There's some other things going on their X page about free agency. So look, everything that they've done in free agency doesn't say anything about a quarterback. They talking about weapons they need to go get. Cornell Tate. They sign a defensive player, safety, Daniel Thomas. This is what I'm saying. Look at all this stuff. Ain't nothing about no quarterback on here that they drafting. They signed a defensive tackle in Khalil Davis. They re-signed their defensive end, Julian Aguara. I don't see no quarterbacks. We've seen what the new offensive linemen have said, joining Cleveland. They want to play with Shedeur. We've seen that. And that's what I'm trying to say. They all over the place, man. They work for the Cleveland Browns, man. They're the Cleveland insiders. They journalists. They beat writers. They write anything that they want to write, man. That's what I'm saying, man. Like I said, the new regime has taken over, man. The new regime has taken over. This is crazy. This is how you put out a narrative, man. Yeah, hey, the kennel was full, the dog pound is flexing. Like I said, man, y'all didn't want to take me for face value when I said Cleveland needs to build around Shedeur Sanders, go out there and upgrade the offensive lineman. Like I produced plenty of shows, man. I produced plenty of shows, man, where I said, I basically told you guys, build around Shedeur Sanders, man. Who remembers me saying that? Who remembers me saying build around Shedeur Sanders, man? I just hold up. I'll give y'all the context of it. Let me see. Let me find something for you guys. Cause I told you guys, man. Told you guys a while back, man. Told you about all the quarterbacks that they try to bring in as well. Numerous times. Thank you. I've said it numerous times. Yep. But this is the stuff that I'm talking about. And the crazy thing about all the narratives out there, like the Cleveland media, they just talk about a lot of stuff, man. But they don't have no context in what they talk about, man. They just have a hate campaign for Shedeur. The chat, no. Oh, dang. FB Ting said the abuse is not racial. Hey, that's his opinion, man. But I still respect him. And then look, this is the crazy thing that we had to say. This is the crazy, because see, I was on G. Bush show the other day, right? And a lot of people was looking for Tyvis. And this is why they was looking for Tyvis.
Jump in front of a bullet.
This is why they was looking for Tyvis.
Okay.
Okay, yeah. Jason was here, and I got sent messages about 3 or 4 times about what Jason said.
Yeah.
About Shedeur. And I gotta set what I think. This is what I think, all right? Jason, I love you, okay? Bear with me. So Jason sat up here yesterday, and he basically was saying that he can't ignore the fact that, and people got to realize that Jason does work around the building. He has sources. So when he says
this idea that he's making stuff up,
it's not that
absurd.
He's making this up out of thin air. Jason does not hate Shedeur Sanders. What Jason feels about Shedeur Sanders as a person and as a football player is 2 totally different things, and people got to understand that. Jason loves Shedeur as a person, but as a football player, I think Jason's in the camp of if he had a bag of cash and he had to bet on whether Shedeur would be successful in the NFL or not, he's going to lean more towards not because of the fact that it's the data, the analytics, and all of those things, blah, blah, blah. But when he sat up here yesterday, he said that, Shedeur doesn't know how to watch film, doesn't know when he's hot, doesn't know all of these things. Like, a lot of people came to me and was like, is all of this true? I don't know. What I will say is this. Where I'm at with the whole Shedeur thing is that as a former player, what I will tell you is there were some things that happened with Shedeur last year that was perfectly normal, and then there was things that made me even scratch my head a little bit, okay? The fact that he never got rest with the ones, even through OTAs when it was an open competition, scratched my head a little bit because I thought that was the perfect time to rotate quarterbacks through. However, when you talk about how they handled the situation, skip OTAs, let's get to training camp. When they handled the situation of he didn't get rest with the ones and, you know, he was on a separate field and all of those things, to me, if he was really getting rest with the fours and he was on another field, to me, that probably does go into the fact of the film watching. You know, maybe he didn't understand the playbook and pick it up right away. You know, that's when you get done like that, that tells me that there is something going on with the learning part of it and speed and catching up with everything to where everybody else, you know, you have some veterans with Kenny Pickett and Joe Flacco and all those guys. They're able to work with that. Dylan Gabriel was able to obviously show that he can handle certain things and pick things up a little bit faster, which expedited his experience of getting reps with the twos and the ones and things like that. So to me, that part is perfectly normal how they handle Shedeur. The only issue that I ever had was he never got reps with the ones up until the week of his start. That's a problem. Like when you become the clear number 2, there are certain periods throughout the practice where you can designate a couple of plays here and there to a Shedeur Sanders because he is only one injury away. So that part of it is kind of murky to me. As far as him not knowing protections or defenses or when he's hot and all those things, I can't necessarily speak on that because I'm not a quarterback, so I don't know necessarily what goes into that. All I can say is that the reports were that he met with Kevin Stefanski every day to get caught up on everything. So therefore, at some point, he had to learn how to watch film and learn the playbook.
Yeah, that's what Jason was saying.
Exactly.
That he had to,
so when you hear that part of it, it makes me believe maybe he didn't know stuff when he first got in there. If he had to meet with a coach every day to get caught up on the thing. So where people getting that part messed up is where. Bottom line is this: Shedeur Sanders needs to start for the Cleveland Browns next year. Why? Because you have to know what he has. I think that his situation is too murky. You know, there's too much craziness that went on into his starting and all of those things that you really don't know. Now you have two sides of the story. You got people that would say, well, he didn't play well because, look, he had nothing.
Tyvis, I can't listen to you no more right now. But I just want to show y'all, so I just want to preference this, man. I want to preference this. Because if you look at the catalog, and I just want to point out a few videos that I did. This goes back 3 months ago. This video right here. This video right here. Y'all see what it's labeled. The Cleveland Browns team is horrible. You got to build around Shedeur. This organization is bad. Look. Y'all see, listen. Y'all see the title. Do y'all see the title? Overall, this is just a bad Cleveland Browns football team. You got your quarterback. You need to build around him. Now, do y'all see that? We're not gonna play it. I just want y'all to see the preference that what I'm telling you guys. I've talked about it plenty of times. Man. That you need to build around your quarterback. Like, I mean, it's crazy. How many shows have I produced that way? Man, I don't even want to get off into that. Y'all know where I'm getting at. Y'all know where I'm getting at. I just wanted to cook a little bit to let y'all know, man, I ain't new to this, man. I've been telling people, for those that want to listen, man. I've been telling people, man. So, man, if you're not aware now, man, you better tell a friend to tell a friend, man. Y'all better come over here to subscribe to Simply Ball Dropping Podcast, man. Because we giving you facts, man. We keep receipts. We got everything on deck. We don't leave nothing out, man. This is unfiltered and raw. Pause. Yeah, I mean, a lot of people, rock with Tyvis. Yeah. It's cool. We're going to stay off Tyvis, but it's just, and we talked about Mary Kay so many times, man, where I said, man, she's the big flipper. Look, I see, y'all don't understand where I be coming from, man. And like I say, I got receipts on everything that I do, man. Look at this shit. She flipped the script. What's the title of this show? Let me get past this. Let me rewind it back. Let me get back so y'all can see the title of the show. Look, she flipped the script. I ain't got the lie, Craig. I got receipts, man. All you gotta do is go look at my catalog. We talk about it all the time, man. Hey, look, I try to tell y'all, man. If y'all don't believe in me, man, y'all better start believing in me, man. I'm gonna give y'all some good stuff, man. I'm gonna give you the hot sauce, man. Look, G. Bush gonna cook up the meal. I'm gonna give you the hot sauce to throw on your meal. G. Bush gonna give you the meal. He gonna cook it up for y'all. But I'm gonna put that hot sauce on it. Man. But look, guys, man, look. It was Simply Sundays with Simply Ball Dropping, man. I appreciate y'all coming in for my first show on a Sunday. We gonna keep doing these shows on Sundays, man. Early mornings. Simply Sundays with Simply Ball Dropping. So I'll be coming on Sunday mornings around about 11:40 going into the noon hour after G. Bush cooks up. And I'm trying to get with my man Big Snacks, man, so we can provide a show for you. Yeah, and Big Snacks gonna make it sweet, man. Come on, Big Snacks, man. We owed him a show, man. Big Snacks, man. Go ahead and respond to me on Snapchat or what is it? I keep forgetting, man. On TikTok. Go ahead and respond to me on TikTok, man. Hey, look, if y'all not following Big Snacks, man, make sure y'all follow Big Snacks. Big Snacks got that introduction say, I'm back in the building, Big Snacks, and he's back with another banger. So y'all make sure y'all follow Big Snacks, man, over there on the Yoshi Network. Y'all make sure y'all follow Big Snacks, man. So Big Snacks, man, get at me, man. Or, man, look, Big Snacks, man, if you get a chance, man, this will be quicker to respond to me, man. Send me an email right there, Big Snacks. If you're still in the building, Big Snacks, man, send me an email at ksap@simplybaldropping.com so we can link up, man. So we can produce a hot show for them, man. I can come on your network or you can come on mine. Trail City said, Big Snacks, come on with the content. It don't matter. I can come on your show. We just need to link up and do a show, man. Joe Paternio. Yeah. I like that. The 4 horsemen of the Cleveland Apocalypse. K-Sap, G. Bush, Big Snack, and FB Tings. All right, Snacks. Go ahead and just send me that email. Send me an email if you got it, man. The email's on the screen. So we can keep this movement going, man. But look, guys, man, I appreciate y'all tuned in on this Sunday, man. This is the first time I came live on a Sunday. But I appreciate you guys tuning in, man. I'll be back tomorrow night, Monday night. But I'm gonna drop some more content, some videos. So y'all make sure y'all go up and, subscribe to subscribe to this channel, man. Make sure y'all subscribe to Big Snacks over there, man. Go run his numbers up. Every video that you watch on Big Snacks, make sure y'all hype it up, man. Put him off in the algorithm, man. Let's get these channels off and popping, man. We need to get these channels moving, man. But I appreciate everybody that tuned in. Appreciate all the love and support, man. But look, like I've always said, that's going to wrap up another episode of the Simply Ball Dropping Podcast. I'm your host and the man behind the mic, K Sapp. We're going to catch you on the next one. Deuces.
Thanks for listening to the Simply Ball Dropping Podcast. Be sure to subscribe, like, and share on all major platforms.